my being, and with the help of God, to become an open, honest, kind, and diversified individual.
Please extinguish your candles. Graduates, be seated.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special edition of QPTV's News Desk. I'm Rosalind Nieves. Today we are going to talk about Queensborough Community College's high-profile and competitive nursing program. I have with me Professor and Chair of the Nursing Department, Professor Anne-Marie Menendez. Professor, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, no problem. We're grateful that you're here. Tell us about Queensborough Community College's nursing program. Why are so many students flocking to your program?
Well, Queensborough has a long reputation of having a strong nursing program dating back to 1967, and many of the nurses working in the Queens community were graduates of our program. It is a very competitive program, but I think people are coming to our program because it's a reputation. We have a strong faculty, we have a strong clinical component, and a strong academic program.
Now, how do you qualify for the program?
Well, to qualify, first you need to come into the college, be accepted to Queensborough Community College. Then you apply to the nursing program after you finish a number of prerequisites in math and science and English and psychology. When you complete those, you take an admission exam, and then you are considered for the program.
Now, do you have limited placement?
We do, but we try to, it depends on our cohort who's applying, and we try to accommodate students that have applied, that are eligible and strong applicants.
What type of classes should a student expect?
Well, in the prerequisites, they're required to take English, 2 English courses. They take Anatomy and Physiology 1 and 2. They take Microbiology. They take Psychology, as well as another elective. And then when they're in our program, they're taking our nursing courses.
What type of students is the college really looking for?
Well, for nursing, we need students that are strong academic students. They need to be good in math and science. They also need to be students that are good communicators and critical thinkers, and we help them to develop those skills, of course. And I would want someone to come into nursing who really enjoys working with people and cares about people and has a certain level of compassion for others.
Well, I hate to get gory, but blood, bowel, vomit, and guts. How do you know if you're cut out for this type of job?
Well, not everyone is initially, and I go back to my own nursing days where I would almost fainted in a couple of different incidents in the OR. So students, that shouldn't deter someone from coming into nursing. I think over time you can develop more comfort in the clinical setting. I think the important thing is that the student really has an interest in science and math, an interest in people, and a really caring, compassionate heart.
I read that of the approximately 35 nursing students who graduated in the spring, 10 were male. What changed?
Well, we have one of the largest number of nursing in the country. We had this last semester, our spring semester, we brought in 28% men. 28% of students in the program were men. I think men are looking for a challenge. Men are, there's many men out there who care about others and want to work in the field of healthcare. And nursing is a great opportunity for everyone, for men and women, to really care for people, to use their science, math skills, also technology. Healthcare is becoming very sophisticated in terms of technology. And I think barriers have broken down in terms of men in nursing. And we welcome men in nursing if they're qualified, to come into our program.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Twitter is a way for anyone to speak about what's on their minds and for anyone to listen to what others are speaking about that's on their minds. It's a way for communities to rally around problems that everyone may experience but not know that others are encountering. And so one of the wonderful things about social media is the power to discover people like you who have concerns and problems like you. And when we host that conversation as the New York Police Department, then we can see whether we can help address some of those problems. Our responsibility is crime and fear, and to reduce those and help people establish order in their communities. Not everything that people are concerned about and who will tweet have to do with that, but we are eager to learn how we can connect with our communities. Our precinct captains do it all the time. This lets us do it anytime, anywhere, all the time, and not just wait for time to time for when you've been the victim of a crime, or wait for a precinct community council meeting to come by once every month or so. This gives direct access to and from us, and we think that that's a real benefit. Social media is a powerful crime prevention tool in two ways in particular. First is that we can help send out particular crime prevention tips, especially when there's a crime pattern in a neighborhood. If iPads are very popular items to be stolen these days, if we're able to send out, if we have a large following, and we can send out tips about that, then maybe we can prevent at very low cost some unhappiness when people have lost their gear. Also work for us. When people lose their gear, we have to go find it. So there's something in it for everyone here. But the other way in which social media can really help is to accelerate the ability to find missing people. We spend a lot of time looking for missing kids, missing elders who have drifted away. And the more that a community can see the missing people who we're looking for and can help, it's all eyes on the. But more than that, sometimes the people we're looking for have committed crimes. And when we see, we want people to be aware of who we're looking for, especially if we think that they're operating in a particular area, in a particular block, on a particular train line. Then we want to be able to mobilize communities to take action and to report those sightings so that we can cut those crime problems short faster. So in those ways, social media can really accelerate the crime prevention and crime reduction. We expect every precinct in New York to be on Twitter by the end of calendar year 2014, plus the Housing Authority, the PSA, our housing police, plus our transit commands. I will try to tweet out 5 or 7 times, but I think that's about all anyone will want to hear from me in the course of a day. So.
makes your program so unique and different from other programs?
Well, I think the major thing right now for us is that hospitals and agencies want nurses to have a baccalaureate degree. They want them to be well educated because of the acuity of patients. There's much technology involved in caring for patients today. So agencies and hospitals want nurses that are well educated. And we have a very unique opportunity at Queensborough where students can start with us, and I always say it's a wonderful place to start, and get their associate's degree. And then we have 3 dual joint programs where students can continue on from Queensborough to get their bachelor's degree. We have a dual joint program with Hunter Bellevue School of Nursing, a dual joint program with York College in Jamaica, Queens, and we now have a 3rd program with School of Professional Studies, which is CUNY's online program. So students can start with us, get a wonderful education that's really very strong clinical, has a very strong clinical component, and then move seamlessly on for their bachelor's degree.
Now, what are the demographics of your students?
Well, our students are quite diverse. You know, Queensborough, on campus we have over 130 countries represented on campus. In our nursing program, it is also quite diverse. First of all, approximately 50% of our students are born outside the United States, and we have students from Africa, from the Caribbean, from Asia, from Southeast Asia, from India, from Pakistan, from South America, Central America, and we welcome that diversity because Queens is a community of many, many cultures, and we want nurses to be out there who represent these cultures and can care for these for clients who are very diverse.
You're absolutely right. I agree. How is Queensborough Community College able to meet the needs of working students with families?
Well, we do have a number of our students that work. We have a few that are home and supported by family, but I would say the majority of our students do work outside the home as well as go to school. First, we have an evening program, so we do have students that work full-time. And those students, we really recommend that they finish most of their coursework outside of nursing before they come into the program. But again, they're there 4 evenings a week throughout the 2 years that they enter the program. And Queensborough also allows for students to, some go full-time, some go part-time because of their work and family responsibilities. So we do allow for that flexibility.
That's great. I know working adults need that with families. What type of GPA should you maintain in a nursing program?
Well, coming into the program, once you're at Queensborough, you need to have a 3.0 to apply for the nursing program, and then you also need to take that pre-admission exam, which tests math, verbal, and science skills, and you need to complete, 3.0 GPA is in the prerequisite, the 13 prerequisite courses that I mentioned earlier, the psych, the English, the anatomy 1, and the math, college algebra.
Do you find that a lot of your nursing students are coming straight from high school, or these older adults that have, come back and changed their careers, or is it kind of like a medley of both?
It's really a medley of both, though I will say increasingly we're getting younger students right out of high school, and I think that's because families recognize, the excellence of our program and also the affordability. CUNY and Queensborough are a great affordable option for folks. So, but we've had students, we have some folks right now in their early 60s in our program, and we have students that are 18.
Very nice. I like that diverse. I like that big age gap. That's perfect because, you encountering people of all ages, ethnicities, and so forth, and you need to be able to communicate and relate on a medical level and a professional level.
Right, and we have folks that are coming back who want a major career change. I mean, I've had folks who have been in the business world with MBAs. I've had film producers. I've had chefs. Really interesting people who come with a lot of interesting life experiences, which I think can help them in their nursing career.
Definitely. And what type of degree will you receive upon graduation? And is there any state licensing exams that you might need to take?
Right. When you leave Queensborough and complete our nursing program, you have an associate in applied science. But again, we hope all of our students will continue on for their bachelor's degree. So our folks in our dual joint will go on after getting the associate in applied science and complete the bachelor's degree. And then they need to take the NCLEX, which is a licensing exam given by New York State. Actually, we have a group of seniors right now prepping for that on campus as we speak.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Can you explain the significance of the nursing candlelight ceremony? Tell me the difference of this. You know, I saw the candlelight ceremony, but why is it a candlelight ceremony? Can you explain the significance of
Well, I think it goes back to the days of Florence Nightingale, where nurses are bringing light into the world and healing. And that's the significance of the candle. And we do have a beautiful ceremony every semester for our graduating students.
I will strive with all my being and with the help of God to become an open, honest, kind, and diversified individual. In doing so, I will attain the qualities essential in the practice of nursing. For it is only after realizing one's self-worth we are able to promote that of others. Deliverance of high-quality health care is of essential importance. But let us also reach beyond a treatment or diagnosis. And remember that entrusted to my care is a human being with all the loves, hates, fears, and idiosyncrasies that are an integral part of the human species. Let me not grow too comfortable in my knowledge, but actively seek out new information or continuance of my education. Being a nurse requires continuous growth. I dedicate myself to this cause and my life to the profession of nursing.
Congratulations to the graduates. Graduates, please extinguish your candles. Graduates, be seated.
Thank you. That was wonderful. We do have an interview with someone from Queensborough Community College.
Well, I chose nursing because during my time in the military, I got to see different parts of the world and saw the suffering that people endure and the lack of access to health care that they have. So I decided nursing was a great career for me to transition to, partially because I've seen my mom, my sister are nurses, and I saw how they were able to serve the community. I believe that's the best way for me to be able to give back to the community. So I plan to be like a missionary nurse.
Well, first I want to say that I chose nursing as my career because I was once a cancer patient. So now in remission, I want to give back to my community and to pediatric oncology patients. And I've heard nothing but great things about QCC's nursing program, so I wanted to be a part of it.
I'm choosing nursing because my grandmothers, my initial motivation with my grandmothers because they were diagnosed with dementia in 2010, and I didn't decide which major I was going to. I want to be capable of taking care of them, and not just only my grandmothers and all my relatives, my parents, my friends are getting older. I want to be able to take care of them in the future. So that's why I chose nursing.
The state licensing exam, do you have to take it immediately when you graduate? Do you have time, a little bit of time? What's the parameters with the state licensing exam?
Well, when students graduate from our program, and they graduate twice a year, we accept students in the fall and the spring. So when they graduate in the fall, they would take the exam probably in February or March, and when they graduate in May, they would take the exam probably by July. We do encourage our students to take it soon after they graduate. I think that ensures their success. Right now, we actually have students at the college prepping for the exam for this July. And I'm very happy to say that we had very high NCLEX scores this past quarter, probably one of the highest in New York State.
That's excellent. Can't beat that. Can you please provide us with contact information for parents and students who are interested in the program?
Yes, the first thing you should do is really contact the admissions office at Queensborough Community College, 718-281-5000. They'd be the first folks to speak with. Folks that have other degrees and other credits can be expedited and moved pretty quickly through the process to the nursing program, but that would be the first step to start in the admissions office at Queensborough, 718-281-5000.
Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Chanel Taza. I work with Transitional Services for New York. We provide housing and case management services for adults with mental illness, and we also have an outpatient clinic based out of Jamaica. Did you know that QPTV offers to Queens residents training in development, production, and cable casting of programs? For more information, please visit www.qptv.org. Thank you.
That's it for today's program. If you miss any part of this show, just go to our website at qptv.org to view the entire program. Thank you.
We're here at Queens Botanical Garden, and we're outside our intergenerational garden, which, we have 35 gardeners of all ages. We have seniors, we have young families, we have professionals, we have a couple lawyers. They come in here and they garden 3 times a week, and they grow whatever vegetables they desire. So some of the things that the gardeners love to do here, they come in like very early in the morning, 9 o'clock, they're here outside the gate waiting to get into their garden. And they can't wait to put seeds in the soil. And in springtime, we have lots of things that they experiment with. For example, lettuce, and it grows very easily in this cool weather. So you'll see all different kinds of lettuce, rocket, arugula. They start to put down broccoli and cabbage. Those kind of plants love the cool weather. And then the gardeners start to put down different types of plant where they have their summer vegetables like tomatoes, the carrots will grow into the ground, and then they start to beans, and every 3 months we'll have a different rotation of crops. So each gardener have about a 15-foot by 5-foot space, and in there they have more than enough room to grow all kinds of vegetables, and they share them because the crops are so bountiful. They have a day, like a market day among themselves, where they exchange excess food with each other.
I planted different vegetables, greens, like lettuce, parsley, carrots, beets, tomatoes, hot peppers, and so on. Many years ago, when I was in my former country, I growed grapes, and that experience I hope will help me to do here as best as I can.
Every season when we ask new gardeners to join us, because it changes every year. Some gardeners don't come back because of family, they move away, so we add new gardeners, and they don't need to be experienced gardeners to come and join us. So when new gardeners come in and they don't have any gardening experience, I work with them individually to show them how to start the soil, preparing the soil. We do planning together, what vegetable crops they should plant every 3 months, and they learn as they go along. Come in and garden with us, be a new gardener. So we normally have we call a press release, and we let the community know that there's available space, and the gardeners can come in and to the administrative building and either put their names on a waiting list or apply for a space, and we talk with them and we sign them up for a space when it's available.